Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Got Paul Schwada on the program. He responded to an article request that we had over at priceofbusiness.com, our sister website, and delighted to have him join us. He participated in an article on what you hate and love about selling. Paul, welcome to the program. Tell us about yourself and your firm.
Thanks, Kevin. I have a firm called Locomotive Solutions. Basically, I work with business leaders running healthy, established businesses as an outside resource, as a consultant. But those leaders have that key challenge of reshaping the business for tomorrow, whatever it needs to look like to be successful tomorrow, while still operating profitably today. That's the tough thing I focus on with them.
Yep, no question about it. Tell us a little bit about the size and client range you have in terms of number of employees your clients, companies have, industries, that type of thing.
Yeah, the businesses I'm most familiar with, that I work with closely, are in that middle market, 20 to 200 million perhaps. That means you're running somewhere between usually 60 and 1,000 or so employees, or 800 employees. So about right in the middle of the market, middle of the economy.
Mm-hmm. And how big of a focus is selling in terms of the type of services you provide for your clients?
Well, it's often a big part of the reshaping need, because often the reshaping for tomorrow means getting into a new market or getting to a different part of the market that you're not into today, which of course means access, which means the sales force typically. Most of these types of organizations, they're not out there doing mass consumer-type marketing where you just put out your advertising, your promotional stuff, your social media, and the leads come rolling in. It's going out into the marketplace and finding the right people and getting the organization positioned correctly. So a lot of that comes down to how effective can the sales force be in a new market or in an adjacent spot in the market.
How do you engage, and how important is it for you to engage with high-level, C-level or senior management for your services?
Well, for mine, it's critical because I'm working with the leader of the business. That's the person who owns that tough challenge, that reshaping challenge, and he or she often has a pretty lonely job. It's something where you can't always go to your superiors and say, hey, I'm just not sure about this. I'm not sure where I'm at. I feel like we're getting traction in some areas. I'm not sure about getting traction in others. Sometimes there's some concern there, and sometimes subordinates, while they have areas in their disciplines where they can help, have a silo to defend or have some preconceived ideas that derail that process. So being an objective collaborator means I have to go right to the head of the division or the head of the company, depending on the size, to work with him or her.
Yeah. How do you make that engagement? How do you begin that conversation with C-level individuals?
Well, that's the tough part, because that's a person who protects his or her time very closely and is very concerned that, actually begins from the assumption that any new intrusions into my time are a waste of time, especially when it comes from someone that I'm not familiar with or from an outside organization. So you've really got to start from a place of great credibility that communicates in every way, verbally and non-verbally. Hey, I understand where you're at. I have a credible concept to talk about with you, and we go from there. That's the same thing with a sales organization that's trying to get to that C-level selling. They've got to know the kind of person they're dealing with, where they live, how they work, how they think, so that when they start that conversation, the first gush of interaction is credible. Otherwise, the door's going to shut, or it never will open in the first place.
Never opened in the first place. Paul Schwada, he's been with us today. He's with locomotivesolutions.com, locomotivesolutions.com. Also, check out his article at priceofbusiness.com. Thank you, sir. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here, it does show up over there at usdailyreview.com. While there, like it on Facebook, follow it on Twitter. I am Kevin Price. This is The Price of Business.